But I do see where the business is going and where the money is. You feel me? It's like a lot of different angles. Like I said before, there's money in it. It's just the angle that you're looking at it from. As a player, you're seeing it as, okay, either right now I get off my name and likeness to get to a point where I am playing pro ball, whether that's NBA, G League, overseas, semi-pro, whatever. From my angle, it's like, okay, train kids, get paid to train kids, get the podcast going, get to a point where as a media and as a trainer, making money. As a coach, you're trying to go out there and make an opportunity. As an agent, you're trying to get the best players and get them deals and everything. As a reporter, you can make money off of that and boom and go on social media. Like there's so many different angles that you can see to where, like you said, the pot's growing to where we have money coming in. You can figure out how to get this money going out. So it's really about how your angle is, where your angle is at, irrespective of it, to where how you see the money. Yo, people, we are back with another episode of the BeBall Jones podcast, your favorite and number one basketball podcast. No shade to anybody else. I just know how we do, how we get down over here. So, the BeBall Jones podcast with the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Double Double Defensive Player of the Year, Nelson. How you doing, brother?
I'm good, bro. Hey, I like these titles, man. We got to. Hey, I've been calling myself Defensive Player of the Year all the time. I ain't won it yet, but hey, I keep doing what I'm doing. My name got to be in there running. So we got to speak that into existence.
I'm a big fan of that, bro. Like, I have no problem saying these things. Like, Defensive Player, as a matter of fact, that's the intro from now on. Defensive Player of the Year, Nelson Haskins.
My man, I appreciate that. Got to manifest that.
For sure, man. So, everything good with you?
Yeah, man. Just hooping and chilling.
I feel you. Just trying to get by, make things work day after day.
Facts.
Yeah, man. I feel like on my end, it's been I won't say a trying time, just an interesting time. Just trying to figure out how to get this next level for myself and like mainly with the business end, like personal life too, but mainly on the business end. How can I progress and take that next step for where I see myself going? Because I've been trying to change my mindset within my training to where it's a scarcity mindset, to where it's like only so much you can do and get from whatever, to an abundance mindset, to where it's like I see more opportunities and more money and things everywhere, which I'm not trying to force the money, but of course I need money to live and do what I'm trying to do, because at the end of the day, basketball is a business now. Like, I don't care what nobody try to say, basketball has become a big revenue source for a lot of people. And I'm trying to like manipulate that, but I'm trying to capitalize on it in my area and me specifically in my field, you feel me? So that's just where I'm at with it. And like from your end, it's a business too. You feel me? Like y'all just got to a point where y'all can get the NIL, making money off your name and likeness and all that stuff. So let's talk about that. How do you feel like the business of basketball has come to be? Like, where do you feel like it has gotten to? Like, what's your thought on that?
I feel like the business of basketball is the business of basketball, to be real, is booming. Like, I feel like it's never been more popular, and with anything, especially in America, anything that's popular can also generate revenue.
Mm-hmm.
Really, if we're being honest. So, and with the league being so full of players that people really, in a way, look up to or are fans of, it's a lot of money to be made in those type of situations. A lot of and business deals to be made. So the business of basketball is big, and then with the NIL deals, I mean, we from down south, so when we talk about college athletics, we talk about football. So that's just down here though when it's talking about college. But in other places farther a little bit north, in the West too, West Coast, basketball where it's at, I wouldn't be surprised if they say the quarterbacks and stuff at the University of Alabama and the big names at Georgia or Tennessee and that those guys get thousands of dollars in NIL deals. But basketball wise, I wouldn't be surprised if guys at UCLA, USC, Gonzaga, I wouldn't be surprised they weren't getting big deals like that. So the business of basketball is like It's never been like moving better than it is right now. Almost to the point that shoot, it could also be like a detriment to some guys, like if they get too caught up in the wrong thing. But but business is going for basketball players in general.
Yeah, I just feel like it's like the best of times and the worst of times, like anything. You feel me? There's a yin and a yang. There's a good and a bad to anything and everything. So I just feel like you said, the business is booming. Like you look at from, of course, let's go pro. They're making the most money that we've ever seen before. Like you're talking about the biggest contracts we've ever seen because the NBA's making the most money we've ever seen. At the college level, like I just said, y'all making money. Y'all got an opportunity to make some money that nobody's ever been like, well, over the table and legally been able to make, in that
There we
situation.
go.
Because Reggie Bush, he got messed up with that. Get that man his Heisman back. I'm just say that. Um,
No, for real.
it's a whole nother conversation. But college level, they making money now. High school, I feel like high school's gonna start making money soon, some type of way, because the overtime and everybody else covering all these players, like Bron is getting so much attention, and uh, what's your boy, Imani Bates, he's getting so much attention, and all these players getting so much attention in high school, like Sierra Canyon, Oak Hills, like there's gonna be a few years, I'll say about 5 to 10 years, most likely less than that high school starts making money too, because it's just too much attention and social media interaction with this to where it's like, oh, I can start making money at 16 if I'm good enough. But like you said, on the bad end of it, you're gonna see not people who are getting money that don't know how to handle it. So a 16-year-old start making a couple bands, it's like, is he doing the right things with the money? Or the whole debate of the college players getting money, it's like they gonna blow it, they don't know what to do with it. But that's that's a whole other thing that we have to look into, but not feel like it's the reason why they can't have money. Because one way or another, they're gonna make the money. You feel me? It's like if I'm a
True.
college athlete, a basketball player, or if I'm working, I don't say 9 to 5, but got a regular job. Like if I got bad money, how much I'm gonna have bad money habits one way or another. But I just feel like the business and like the money within it is like it's really the peak hours to make money in it. You feel me? Like no matter what angle you coming at, it's the time to make money in it because basketball is a business and there's a lot of stuff within it that's good and bad. So I can't feel like we just gotta throw away all the good just because of the bad of what we have from it.
That's true too. Um, I feel like you gotta give people opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
My main thing. So like you said, people kind of believe like, oh, they young, they in college, you give them money, they'll blow it, things like that. I mean, that's not for. I feel like that's not for y'all to decide. You know what I'm saying? You got to give people the opportunity, and then especially for something like talent, because something that's in short supply. You know what I'm saying? And we all gonna run out one day, especially in the terms of athletics. Like, hoop forever, can't play football forever, can't do nothing forever. If we talk about getting paid for my talents, you gotta give me an opportunity. You gotta get it to me because one day I ain't gonna be able to do it no more. So let me get all I can now. Very limited. So even if we feel like they're young, they're gonna blow it, or uh, cause like turmoil between teams, it's gonna be causing jealousy and things like that. Because I heard some people say things like that, like, the quarterback at Alabama gonna be making way more than his offensive lineman. I'm pretty sure they know that too. Like the offensive line ain't no offensive lineman making the same amount as Tom Brady in the NFL neither.
Exactly.
So I'm sure they know that. It's just, but at the end of the day, you got to give people the opportunity to do all they can with what they have, especially with something like that. So, but my question to you would be: do you think basketball, like the amount? Of course, with inflation and things like that, every like the value of the dollar is not as much as it used to be. But do you think all the players on like making like hundreds of millions of dollars on a contract, you think it's like, I want to say, fair? Do you think it's fair to like the older generation of like Michael Jordan, Charles Barkley, and all those guys that didn't make that much money? Well, they made millions. Let me not say they didn't make that much money. They made their money, but like the money Steph Curry is making, Jordan never saw that money. $248 million on contract. Like guys that played in the '80s, that's like beyond their comprehension. And so I'm sure like on down the road, it might be even more. Like it might be guys making more than that. But at the same time, do you think those guys in that older generation have been kind of messed over through like with everything going on now?
I would have to say no, just because that's the way life goes. You feel me? Like if we were making the same, or not we, but if they're making the same money now that they're making in the '90s, that's bad business. Like there's no reason why business should be like flatlining and plateauing. Like we're supposed to be making. I keep saying we. The NBA is supposed to be making more money now. Man, I wish I would see a couple of them contracts. That's crazy. Give me a 10 day.
So
Yeah, but I feel like if Steph Curry, Bron, and them weren't making more money than Jordan and them, that's a problem. We should see Bronny Jr. making killing what his dad made. We should see whatever players coming up next, they should be killing what they're making now. Because that's the way business should be. That'd be very bad business if they weren't making more money. And part of me feels like, man, that sucks and that's tough for them to be like, man, like Jordan's name is still synonymous with basketball on every level. Like as a player, he's still there. As off the court with the fashion stuff, he's still there. So I'm pretty sure he ain't hurting. You feel me? Like he's a billionaire. He's not affected by that. I mean, of course, it'd be nice for him, but Charles Barkley, he's making nice money with TNT. Like Shaq is making nice money with TNT. Ken is making nice money with TNT. Dream's making nice money doing what he do. Like they're not hurting for money, but it would be nice for them
right.
to like get some type of pay off of certain things. You know, like Charles Barkley, he's a very outspoken man, but I will agree with him when he's right, and he's right a lot of times. Um, he has said the reason why he doesn't join the video game stuff is because he feels like the OG players should begin to cut from that because they're using us in these games, but we're not seeing the money from it. You know what I mean? So it's like that part. I'm like, dang, it is true. Like I respect him for doing that because he could be easily making. I don't know how much money they're making from that, but I'm pretty sure you can make some nice extra money from that. Like it's easy money, bro. All you gotta do is sit there and get your voice recorded. Like basically what we're doing now, and that junk will live on for however many whatever we play video games from. Like that's an easy
Right.
check that he could get. But he's saying, no, I don't want that out of respect to me and my peers. You feel me? So um on one hand, it's completely fair because that's the way business should be. We should be growing and progressing. But on the other end of it, you know, they had to go through that because without that, we wouldn't progress to where we are now with the game. So, like I said, it's yin and yang to it, but I don't feel necessarily bad for them. I just wish they could. I wish that they could have a situation where they could be getting some of the money now. But I feel like that's just what we had to go through. So, what about you?
No, or if NBA players were making the 40 years ago, then that would be bad business. I never saw it from that angle. That's why we do this together, my boy. But I always thought like just an inflation thing or why the money is so much different now. And plus there's more money to be made out here than it was back then. But like but you made an excellent point. Like if somebody playing in 2020 made the same amount as somebody played in 1990, that would be bad business. So that's yeah. I can totally agree with that. Nah, but I do wish Charles Barkley would go and let them put him in 2K.
Oh, that'd be
Like,
hilarious. I love that. I don't even play the game, but I wish he'd be in there.
you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel what he's saying to a certain extent, but I'm like, man, everybody in the game with you. Like, literally. Everybody except him and Reggie Miller are like the only two people that come to mind who aren't in 2K. Like, talking about like older retired players. Charles Barkley and Reggie Miller, the only two like big name guys who decided like, no, don't put me in the game.
Yeah.
And that like, and, I get what they standing for, and I respect that. But at the same time, it's like, man, come on, man, just don't put you in the game. It's just like, bro, this for other people. This for people who play the game. This ain't even about you right now. Like your playing days are over. Like they don't need you in the game. Obviously, they still gonna make their millions. Like you're not making or breaking the game. So I feel like I just wish they'd go and let them put them in because like I know you ain't really like a gamer like that, but I play the game. And like me and my homeboys, we been getting on 2K for years, playing with old, like they put like the classic teams, they call them classic teams, and like the all time teams. So like classic teams are like teams from certain years that were like very special, whatever, like the '97 Bulls and like they put the 2017 Warriors on there, all that. Or 2016, I'm sorry. They do classic teams all like throughout the years. And then they got all time teams with like the all time best players from every single team on that team. So you had to play with the all time Celtics and had like Larry Bird, Bill Russell, Danny Ainge, all those guys all on the same team, you know. So naturally, I would like to play with Charles Barkley on the all time Suns, and he ain't on there. No offense to any Suns fans out there, but Charles Barkley, the all-time Suns, ain't looking real all-time-ish. You know what I'm saying? So it's just one of them things. But I digress. But I am glad that like the league is still elevating though. I'm glad that that business is still going up. Hopefully one day, we get us a little bit of get us a little piece of that pie that's going up right now. Because it seems like the pie just getting bigger and bigger. So like we trying to get us a seat at the table. So
yeah.
Hopefully one day that be us.
Most definitely, man. That's actually the goal, man. Like doing this stuff right now, like I love it. It's fun. I was telling my friend that today, like she asked me how the podcast going. I'm like, I love it, bro. This is fun for us. Like I enjoy doing this. But of course, this is like even with training, I love doing it. Like this is fun. Like I really enjoy doing it. Like I'm at a position right now where I'm doing things for fun because I love it. But the goal is to get to a point where I'm getting paid for it and I'm like that's all I do. Like I'm literally just doing at least 80% of my life is just doing what I love to do, like doing this podcast, training, like going to watch games, and like that's all I do. Like I would love to get to that point, but right now I'm just doing it off the love and off the strength. But I do see where the business is going and where the money is. You feel me? It's like a lot of different angles. Like I said before, there's money in it. It's just the angle that you're looking at it from. As a player, you're seeing it as okay. Either right now I get off my name and likeness, but get to a point where I am playing pro ball, whether that's NBA, G League, overseas, semi-pro, whatever. From my angle, it's like, okay, train kids, get paid to train kids, get the podcast going, get to a point where as a media and as a trainer, I'm making money. As a coach, you're trying to go out there and make an opportunity. As an agent, you're trying to get the best players and get them deals and everything. As a reporter, you can make money off of that and boom and grow. Doing social media, like there's so many different angles that you can see to where, like you said, the pot's growing to where we have more money coming in. Listen, you can figure out how to get this money going out. So it's really about how your angle is, where your angle is at, irrespective of it, to where how you see the money. So of course, the biggest player in this is the NBA, but within each level of it, the player is the main thing. Like, there's no way the player should be making the least amount of money when that's literally why we're there. Like, the coach should be making more player than the money. The trainer should be making more money than the players. The agent should be making, like, the player is the reason why all of this exists and why we're here. The players should be making the most money at each level. So it's really about how to angle yourself and be in the right position to do that. But on the downside of it, people try to be manipulative and see that player as a dollar sign rather than a human being, which is where a lot of stuff with AAU get mixed up because you see players who go to one team because they're the bigger team, and the coach look at them and like, oh, I can make some money off of you. Like, if I get you, we can be a sponsored team, is that and the third. Or from my perspective, I want to get with this player because they have a big opportunity and you're a bigger name, and a bigger name, you make me look good. I get some more players to come in and make more money. All this little stuff to where it's more of an opportunity and rather not off the love and like the genuineness of the game. So that's the negative side of the business that I don't like. You know what I mean? I'm trying my best to not be that guy. To doing stuff for attention, doing stuff because it's a opportunity. You feel me? Like right now, if I had a certain player like that was a big name, you probably wouldn't even know. I mean, you would know personally, I'll tell you. But like as far as social media wise, I probably wouldn't tell nobody just because I don't want to blow up off of their name. Unless I actually got you to that point to where you blew up off of that. But there's a negative side too, like I said before, but I just feel like depending on your perspective of it is where how you can get your hand into that pot.
Right. And I like what you said too. Basically, not wanting to take advantage of guys. 'Cause I feel like that happens a lot nowadays too. Like everybody money hungry, looking for the next big break or the easy dollar to make. So I mean, it just some people can't resist trying to take advantage of the next person or the person who might not know enough or hadn't been exposed enough to know what's going on. So, young players nowadays really have to like pay attention to things like that, like or like hopefully their parents are paying attention and helping them with that process. Because like not just like trainers, agents, to college coaches might try to take advantage of players. Right? So it's important that you have like that as a player. Like speaking from the player's perspective, it's important that you have that foundation allow. Even if you ain't, if you not, even if you're not necessarily big, like you might not even be, in your opinion, a big name. You know what I'm saying? Like you might just be a regular kid playing good for your high school team or whatever. You might be a good player, but when it comes time to like start making those business decisions, like where am I gonna go to school at? Uh, what am I gonna major in? What am I gonna do? Like what kind of plan will I have for my life? That's where you need that solid foundation, whether that be your family, some good solid friends, a mentor of some kind, anything like that. And so like speaking personally, like when I was going through my college progressions, like trying to decide what junior college I was gonna go to, I involved my parents in every decision. And like granted, like to give my parents credit, they wanted it to be my decision. They never tried to control my decision making. But me being like having that good foundation, a solid foundation to allow, I took everything to my parents. Like, all right, so what we think about this? Like he was saying this and this and this. I don't know how I feel about that. And they vice versa. They asked me, so how do you feel? Like, what do you think? Do you think this would be a good place for you and things like that? And so that way of thinking and that way of going handling my business has been successful for me because I mean it's led me to make good decisions, knowing I have people around me that I can depend on and trust with these questions and things like that. So uh, I just want to put that out there for younger players. Like uh, these things do happen. Like people do try to take advantage of young naive players. Like you are like you don't know enough and they know you. They might know you're better than you know already, or you gonna be better than you are at the moment. And they see something in you. So I just say like be prepared for that, and make sure you have people around you that have your best interest at heart. Look out for you, because business is business, like we say. So some people might not care about you as an individual; they see you as a business motive. So I just, let that be my little 2 cents in before you just make any decisions for yourself.
I feel like that kind of goes into like the politics of it too, because it's like you you start to see where favoritism come in because this is the golden child and this is the diamond in the rough because they got potential, but they don't look as polished as this player does. So you give all your attention to this player, like from my perspective as a trainer, right?
Mm.
I've seen a lot of kids that are they're good now. Like I got girls right now that they're playing varsity seventh, eighth grade. I'm working with a guy. He has somebody playing varsity in eighth grade, and it's like the potential's off the roof because you know, like I said, they're playing varsity in eighth grade. So I highly doubt that you're gonna go take steps back and start playing JV next year. You know what I mean? Like you playing varsity 6, 7 years, like what,
Right.
5, 6 years. You feel me? And I could leech on to that and be like, hey, come on with me and train with me. I'll make you look great. And I'm gonna post you all over social media and be like, this player here is doing this and doing that. And I got girls I'm talking to now, and it's like they have a very good opportunity to go to some very nice colleges, not just D2. I'm talking about possibly really nice D1 schools. You feel me? And I could leech on to that and be like, hey, I'm gonna look at you more. I'm gonna praise you more to make myself look better. And that wouldn't be fair to all my other people that I'm training that they might not have the potential or the possibility of going to that level. It doesn't mean I shouldn't show them any more love or less love because of that. And so I feel like there's a lot of politicking going on with the game to where it's like I'm gonna give a little extra love over here to this player because they're a little bit more popular or have more uh a bigger outlook on them, or the name is bigger, whatever it is. Like that's where the politics of the game come into. With certain players, they're a little bit more favorable to be with. It looks better to be with a LeBron James while he was in high school, to look at a Zion when he was in high school versus Steph Curry when he was in high school. Steph Curry really wasn't that known, but look at him now. You feel me? So like that's where the politics come in. It's like you got to be very. If you're gonna play that game, you got to be very smart about it because you're gonna screw over a lot of players doing that and look bad on you. Where not just my angle, but like got coach, agent, whatever. Like if you're gonna try to play the politics on that level and be pick and choose and stuff, be careful of that. That's all I gotta say. I ain't seen it from my angle, but I can see where it can go. So politics is a very tricky thing. You start talking about the business of the game.
Man, that's what's so funny that we one of the reasons we start this podcast is because of exactly like what we're doing right now. Because you're a trainer and I'm a player, and we have different perspectives on things. Mm-hmm. And so and that dynamic is good to share insight with different people. So what's funny to me is when you think politics of basketball, so much from a business perspective, like how to handle certain people and players through a business side of things. But when I think about politics in basketball, I think about like shaking hands and kissing babies, like because I'm the player. When people like see and know sometimes, so like I'm usually like when we talk about politics, I think about it in a whole different like light than what you were thinking about. But like when I see the politics of basketball, it is kind of crazy because it's one of them things. It's like I feel like politics is all about view, like how you are being viewed, your perspective. What are people's like thoughts when they see you? Is your face card good? Basically, like that's what I think of when I think politics. And so you as the trainer, like the politics of it would be like, if you were trying to take advantage of somebody, you would just like you said, leech on to those people who have more talent than others and be like, all right, I'm gonna promote you a little bit more than other people. So that's your politics. It's like, oh, I need to put this person out there and shop them out, for revenue. But me as the player, like politics of basketball for me has always been like show my face. That's me. In a lot of situations. Like, and then me personally, but like for those who don't, like I'm sure a lot of people like listening, like know me a little more personal. But for those who don't really know me, I talk. Like I talk to anybody, I'm a very friendly person. I'm cool with a lot of people. So naturally a lot of people get to know me after a certain point in time if I've been in a certain place for too long. So and then I'm already tall and a basketball player, so my face already out there and things like that. So whenever every team I played for, a certain period of time, it's like, all right, it seems like a lot of people just know me, and so then my thing is at that point now it's like, okay, now that's where the politics come in. Like, now I play here at CSU, I can't be out here just what I want to do is just saying what I want to say to everybody. Like, not that I would do anything wrong, but I have to watch myself. Whatever happens could derail what I got going on. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want people to see me in a negative light, things like that. Like, for those out there listening, I don't smoke, don't drink, don't do no type of drugs, don't do none of those activities. Don't get involved. So when I be out, if I'm ever offered those things, I'm like, no, I'm good. They're like, why? I'm like, because I'm good. I don't want it. And I didn't get people like, oh, you think other basketball players don't smoke? I'm like, that's none of my business. That's none of my business. I don't care what they do. I'm talking about myself. I'm good. And so it's just funny. I just find it funny, like trainer or a businessman perspective, the politics would be how to handle a player. But a player's perspective is like, when it comes to politics, is how to handle people. Like, how am I going to handle the crowd, or how am I going to handle team? How am I going to handle fans? How am I going to handle opposing fans? Things like that. Those are politics of basketball for me. I just had to put that out there. Like, it's just weird that we think so differently. Like, I was not thinking that way when you said politics.
I kind of got to deal with that from my end too, because I have to network and try to get with the right people. It's more of a business end of it, but like on my end,
Right.
like I'm I'm almost the opposite of you. You feel me? Like I'm an introvert. Like I don't talk, bro. Like I'm good. Like if I ain't got nothing to say, I'm chilling. Like I let you talk your head off. I just a word? Okay. If you had to talking about something interesting, I'll throw my little two cents in there. I know how to get you talking. I know how the right question to ask, but for the most part, bro, I'll be chilling, man. Like I have a few people I do hang around, we talk to, but for the most part, I'm to myself, bro. Like I'm chilling, bro. I'm not trying to talk your head off all day. But within the politics of the business side for me, because my business is basketball, I have to network and try to get to know the right people and get with players. Like I'm trying to grow my group of players I'm training with. So I have to, hey, that's your kid. Work. Oh man, I love to work with the kid. My name's Brian Jones, BeBall Jones. Da, da, da. I train this player number such and such over there. So um, I have to maneuver through that whole thing to where it's like it makes sense. That's my politics on my side to where I'm not trying to leech on. Like I don't want to play just because they're good. Like I got referred to one of my players I'm training referred another person to me, and uh like I was talking to the dad and everything. I'm like, yeah, cool, cool. We can see what he can do. And they go to the high school, another player that I train. So I hit the other player. I'm like, yo, what's going on? Do you know such and such? They're like, yeah, I know him. Not that well, but I kind of know him. Like, only two things I really care about. Just one for getting an idea of, and one that I really care about. So, like, how is he good? Like, I just want to know what I'm getting into. If they're sorry, then okay, I see what I got to build from there. They're good, okay, cool. Let me see what I got to build from there. Regardless of where you start at, my goal is to get you better. And like,
Right.
is he a good person? Because if I can't deal with you as a good person, I'm not gonna deal with the headache of training you and being with you. Because I invest too much of my time and energy and effort to have a headache of a player I'm training. You feel me? And luckily, I haven't had any bad players. I can say I'm very blessed and fortunate to have that. Like every player I've trained has been amazing. You feel me? So I love that. But on the other end of it, like I have to be cautious and aware of like, okay, I have to same thing for me. I have to have a certain face that I show to where going out to games, I have to be, I love to be like almost like a parent, just be in the background and chill. Like I'm in here to make a lot of noise. I'm chilling, bro. I just want to watch my player, see how we can do what we did right, what we're doing wrong. I can get them better. I talk to the parents if I'm there, if I see them, and keep pushing. You feel me? But at the same time, I have to shake hands a little bit, say, hey, get my name out there. I'm B-Ball Jones, stand a third. I train them, see what you like to do. Get my card, see what we can do moving forward. And I have to be cognizant to do that a little bit more, because if I want to go full time with it, I have to step out a little bit more, network, and get that whole branch going. But like I said before, I'm not trying to leash off anybody because I don't care if you are a number one player. Like I'm not training you if you got the attitude problem, you disrespectful, all this stuff. Like I'm not in that position to be trying to deal with that. You feel me? Like my life is amazing right now, and I'm not finna jeopardize that for some money or some attention. Like I don't care that bad. You feel me? So the process on my end is a little different, but I still have the shaking hands and kissing babies things too. It's just different because yours is more of a you're representing the team and the coach and all that stuff. I'm representing myself and all of my employees over here at B-Ball Jones, which is ownership of me, myself, and I. But yeah, man. So my politics is not too far from yours. It's just like that, like I said before, the angle that we're coming from. And
Yeah.
I want to ask you, man, like, do you ever feel like you not say that you faking, that you have to show a certain face? Like, do you feel like you can't be like I don't say you can't be you, but you can't be like a certain version of you sometimes. Like, you know what I'm trying to say?
Man, yes, 100% yes, right. Like, and I'm not, like you said, it's not necessarily that I'm not being myself because it like what you see is what you get with me, and I'm a naturally like friendly person. I don't mind talking to nobody, but then every now and then It's a few people like or a group of people, a person that I might not rock with like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I can get along with just about anybody, but every night that you run to that person, it's like, man, I don't like dude. You know what I'm saying? And so when you get in those situations, and like when you in my position, let me put you like this: everybody on the team does not have the same responsibility, right? Which is cool. That's just the way things go. Just like everybody in a company doesn't have the same responsibility. So CEO of a company has to have a more positive light than somebody just working in the copy room. Not to say I'm the CEO of Columbus State basketball, not like that. That's just an example. But me being somebody who known a little bit, who gets seen more often than some other players, and who knows a few more people, when I come off negatively somewhere, like let's just say somewhere around campus, I get into a fight. What happens? So me and another guy get into it, whatever. We get into a fight. Word gonna spread around campus real fast. You know how that goes. So then when people realize that it was me, first thing they're gonna say, hey, that's Nelson. He on the basketball team. Thing is who the other dude and why they was fighting. I hope it had to be, I pray if that does happen, it was a dang good reason for me and him to be fighting. Like hopefully I was defending somebody's honor or something. Like I hope I ain't just out here fighting in the street for no reason. But that's how I go. Like my name is synonymous with the basketball team automatically. That's why sometimes you have to be on your P's and Q's about a lot of things. So I give you an example. I'll give you a story. So I remember one of our off days here. Coach called me. I'm in here sleep. Well, not sleep, just like hanging out. He called me. Said, what's up, coach? He said, Nelson, right up here the Mercy Man with me. Well, he said, what you think? You said, you doing anything? I said, no, I'm just in the chill. He said, right up here the Mercy Man with me, a little med center up here in Columbus. I said, wow, what's going on? He said, we giving them this little thank you poster for doing our COVID testing. So right up here with me, to help present and stuff like that. It's part of the basketball team. That's part of the basketball team. I'm like, all right, cool. Sound good. I'm thinking it's just gonna be me and him from what he said, right? Because he said like, he said he ain't say nobody else was coming. So in my mind, I'm thinking it's just me and him. So I'm like, okay. I'm finna put some clothes on. So at first I'm finna throw on some shorts and a t-shirt. Like something that say I play basketball or I'm on Columbus State basketball team. So I find one of our basketball shirts, like pants that go with it. So now I look like I belong, whatever. Look like I'm part of the basketball team. So then I met coach and we rode up there together. We get there to the med center. Yeah, the athletic trainer was there for Columbus State. The athletic director was there. President of the doggone school. All there. Plus some more coaches and some more players from different sports. All there for this thing. I got there, I was like you ain't tell me all this. I'm thinking it's just gonna be me and you. Like all these important people here. And they all got nice clothes on and stuff. Thankfully, the other players weren't dressed nice and like that. Or I'd have really been upset because I'd be like, Coach, you could have told me. But like the AD had on like a blazer and the head athletic trainer had on like some nice clothes and makeup and stuff like that. And like that post was like somewhat dressed. So I realized that this was supposed to be like a whole like little thing to show our appreciation of Mercy Man for the COVID testing. They take us on a little tour of the facility, tell us about everything they got going on and things like that. They gave us little treats and stuff. Like it was a real nice thing. Then we presented them with the poster. A lot of athletes that signed it and stuff, including myself. Cool, real nice thing. Real nice little thing. Me and coach get back in the car. I'm like, tell me all these people gonna be here. Yeah. Well, I ain't really know who all was gonna be here. I knew that the AD, I had that little trainer. I knew they would be here, but I didn't know all these other people would be here. I said, Coach, you should have told me to put some clothes on or something. Like I almost wore some shorts and a t-shirt, but I thought about it. I changed my mind. He said, no, I knew you'd do good, man. He said you played. He said you played the role well, man. I knew I called the right one when this came up. That's when I realized, like, well, I guess I'm the guy now for like things like this. Like when it comes to like being out in public and having to shake hands and kiss babies, I'm just the one to call now. so, so that's what it is now. It's like, and like that's not to say I wasn't myself. I was just chilling. You know, it wasn't no big deal for me. But that's just one example of a few times that he didn't call me to go do things or say things or be involved in something. Like, and that's just part of it. When you one of those guys that your coach to be able to put a good face for the team or to show the team in a positive light. If he can only call on one person, if it's you, that's a good thing for those listening. If it's you, that's a great thing. Like, don't be upset about that. Don't be sad. Like, I know it might sometimes, it might get old, but that's a good thing if your coach trusts you to be seen in public and to represent him well. Outside of it is you got to be ready for it now. Like when it gets to that point, like I am now, you got to be ready because every now and then it's just gonna be what you doing. Ride up here to such and such with me. Let's do this. You got to be like, all right. I'm gonna put on a basketball shirt and we can go. So it's just one of those things. That is politics. That story is politics in a nutshell, in my view. Because I just got to be a good representation. So naturally, I feel like I'm naturally good at it because, like I said, I'm a friendly, outgoing person. I don't mind talking to people. But every now and then, I might not feel like going out right now, coach, or being seen or talking. But it is what it is. I'm happy that he trusts me to do that, so it's all good.
You feel like do you feel like you ever get the chance to turn that off and be like, let me not be like Nelson Haskin, the basketball player for Columbus. Let me just be like Nelson Haskin, the guy, like a regular guy, a student sometimes. Like, do you feel like you ever get a chance to really turn that off, or it's like 24/7?
I do feel like I feel like I can turn that off around my friends. Like when it's just us, they don't think about me as Nelson Ashton, the basketball player. Like, and I hate some. I feel like I'm sounding like some kind of superstar. I'm not. Trust me, I'm not like famous. I'm not like that. I hate sounding like I'm just like the big shot right here, but because I'm really not. But like a lot of people do just know me out here just from basketball. Well, around campus and stuff like that. But I do feel like when it's just my friends and stuff like that, that's cool. But sometimes, I do kind of wish I could turn it off, especially when I was in high school, because like you guys, my mom, I remember there were days we'd be at Walmart or going to Walmart. Like, I'm gonna stay in the car because I know if I go in here, I'm gonna see somebody I know, and I don't feel like talking. And you probably get that feeling too sometimes. But like Walmart in a small town, folks, especially folks from the populace listening, you gonna see somebody Walmart, small town, because everybody got to go to Walmart. Like it's not like a big city where like everybody it's different places you go do your shopping at. Everybody has to come to this Walmart. So that just be the thing, and then it like when you meet who that met so many people through basketball, and then you come home, you in a small town again. You go to Walmart, 9 times out of 10, you gonna run into somebody you know. And I know because I've done it a lot. So then every night then I'll go, I'll be like, well, I ain't getting out the car. I don't feel like talking. Like those things, man. So I feel like maybe I ain't meant to be really famous, like famous on like a national scale or anything like that. Like if you ever got to that point, I hopefully, Lord willing, I'll make enough money to send people to the store or something if I'm ever at that point. Like, because if I was ever LeBron James and Kevin Durant, I'm sure, obviously LeBron ain't going to Walmart shopping and that, but like, if I was ever known on that big a scale by a lot of people, I'd send people to do my stuff for me. Like, I'm not walking around like that because it's just like I'm not always in a happy-go-lucky mood to be talking, So I wish I could turn off sometimes, but then it's part of life at the end of the day.
I feel like for you, like I know where you're coming from when you saying the situation you're in, because I feel like every school has that. Like once again, from my perspective as a coach and a trainer, like if I had to send somebody to represent like say I was getting an interview for something and they want to talk to the players by my perspective. I have certain players that I would go to, certain players I would not go to. Not because they're bad, but it's just like they
Some
know
better
how
than others.
they know how to show face. So it's like, hey, guy who's an introvert, let's not pick you because you gonna make you don't know how to socialize, you don't know how to turn it on and off yet. Like me in middle school and high school, I probably would have been the best person to talk to because I would have been like, yeah, he's a good trainer. He's cool. We have fun. Okay, thanks for the interview, son. Let's see you later. But like certain people who are a little more talkative and a little more out there, hey, seeing you out there, you feel me? Like you gotta, and some players just because I train them a lot more, they see me a lot more, so they're gonna give a better image of me. You feel me? It's like from the coach perspective, you got certain players. Yeah, he might be the best player, but he doesn't have the social aspect. He doesn't have the personality to represent us. He doesn't have whatever. You know what I mean? And sometimes, that image can be a good or a bad thing because if going back to a player we love is AI, you feel me? Like great dude, we love him on the court, great guy, off the court, great guy, but certain parts of his image was seen as a bad thing. The
Right.
cornrows, tattoos, baggy clothes, not the image that the NBA loved as much. And it's been a ongoing debate to say, was he targeted? Was he the reason that the rule change happened? Because he looks like a thug. You feel me? So would he have had an opportunity to be the face of the league? Don't know. Like if Kobe wasn't there, Shaq wasn't there, we would have been like Allen Iverson. You're the gift of the basketball guys to be the face of the league. Like you talked about before, every time the face of the league is going down, we got the next one coming up. So let's say if it went from Jordan to AI, would that have worked? The politics of it says no because of his image. Kobe, no tattoos. Well, at least at the time, he didn't have tattoos, and that was super visible. He had an afro, which isn't that bad for them. We know who them is. He was able to be personable in interviews. He was a little bit of a jerk, but that's part of the competitiveness of the game. But AI, if you really look at his interviews for real, he wasn't that bad. Like he was a very good person to interview. It's just he had his moments like practice. It's not a favorable thing to look at because that's if you look at it on the surface, you're telling kids not to practice. There's deeper levels to it that. Do you know the full story about that? The whole thing.
Yeah, like somebody in his family had just recently passed away or something like that, and
Yeah.
he was in an interview and they was asking about practice, and he was actually really blowed. Like he wasn't just saying he don't practice. He was actually blowed at the question.
Yeah. So it's like it's levels to it that initially don't get brought up. You feel me? Like you just said, he had a family in the past and he was in the right state. And you like, come on, bro, practice. Like, come on now. Like, it wasn't the fact he's saying I'm too good to practice. He literally has a whole other situation going on. But politics wise, that's not a good look. He could have been like, hey guys, I'm not in a state for this. Like, there's a way to handle that. You feel me? And he wasn't always the best for that. But I think you need that sometimes. You need to have that yin and the yang. Like, you don't want to have Jordan be Mr. Clean Cut, always say the right things at the right time, because now you have a certain image to uphold that you can't handle across 400, 500 players or however many players in the NBA. But I feel like Jordan was perfect for the time for the politics because you need to clean up the game a little bit more. We'll get into a national level. We need to have that image portrayed because the politics of it says you need to have a certain image. Now we're allowed to have more things because the game has grown so much, and we have an Allen Iverson, we have a LeBron James with tattoos, we have Kobe and Jordan known for cussing out their players and that being a little bit more acceptable. You feel me? So politics is a very tricky game. Politics is not something easy. That's why a lot of politicians get caught up in stuff, and it is what it is. But within the basketball game and the world of basketball, politics are a needed evil sometimes. Because, like you said, for your situation, I have to have somebody to represent the basketball team. Who am I picking? Nelson, because he has the image that we need. He knows how to kiss hands. I mean, shake hands and kiss baby. That'd be so weird. Kissing hands.
You better say kiss hand, shake, baby.
Man, I'm gonna get you sent to jail, bro.
Man. But Yeah, I get what you're saying.
But yeah, man, you gotta know how to shake hands with kids' babies, But at the same time, you need some of that real. Like you said, you're not always in the mood to be doing that, bro. Like sometimes you want to be left alone. You just want to be a normal human being. But that's where Allen Iverson comes in. He's like, yo, I'm human. Like I'm dealing with this whole situation over here that y'all don't know about. Y'all talking about practice. Like
Mm.
so, the business and politics of the game of basketball, man. It's a
It's a
bigger
tricky
and
thing.
growing thing. Yeah, you say it's tricky. It's a new thing. You feel me? And that's why we want to talk about it. It's getting to a point where I won't say it's out of our control, but it's getting to a point where it's like it's not something you can just stop. It's more of like how can we handle it on the levels that we're at, So
Right.
it's crazy.
So okay, so shifting back more to the business side of things. So like I have a question for you, being more of the business mind that you are. What are your thoughts on like I've heard guys say that Kendrick Perkins said that the Lakers stars part of their problem is too many commercials. Yeah, I see one of the Lakers players on a commercial every time I turn on my TV. It's too many commercials, too many advertisements, too many endorsements, like too many off the court things going on. So, what's your stance on that? Like, do you think players should focus more on basketball than endorsements, or do you think players should like get all the endorsements that they can, make their money, do what you do?
Um, I would like to say that it really depends. Honestly, I'm not trying to
Mm,
be right defense person, but it literally depends because it's like if I'm like LeBron, don't you can't question LeBron on his off the court stuff, but like the man's tip top shape 24/7. Like he's working in, like he's putting in work. He's not slipping at any level of getting himself prepared for basketball. And like literally, what more could you ask for LeBron to do at 37 years old at the game right now? Like, don't question what that man is off the court because he's doing what he had to do. Like, it doesn't fall on him, regardless if he's the best player in the league. Like, it doesn't fall on him on the winning success of the Lakers because only so much he can do. Like, I understand we think he's a superhuman, but at the end of the day, you need the team around you. You feel me? So, uh, I feel like every player should get as much money as they can until it affects their own court. Like if you're putting too much time into getting brand deals and too much time doing commercial that takes away from you training, then I feel like you playing the game the wrong way. You feel me? Because you're a basketball player first. You know what I mean? Endorsements come from that. And if you're not handling business, you're not going to get the endorsement deal. Like you'll lose that quicker than you got it. And so if you're a Westbrook or Anthony Davis, the best way for you to get those deals and get the bigger contracts and all those endorsements is to win. Like that's the easiest thing to do. In order for you to win, you have to maximize your own court potential in game and all that stuff. So if it's taken away from you training and taken away from you progressing each summer, then yes, you're doing too much. Like Chris Paul, you see him in every State Farm commercial. I love his commercials. But if it ever got to a point where Chris Paul is slipping, one of the first things we're gonna point at is all them State Farm commercials he's doing. But you can't
mm,
say that for him. He's taking care of business. You feel what I'm saying? So it really depends. So if you know within yourself if you're slipping or not. Like when Jordan was recording Space Jam, he had a court built in on set. He's not gonna slip up and let that mess up his rings. I'm not doing that. I'm getting back in the game. I'm finna come out of retirement, bust y'all heads in this next year. And so it's a balance. You feel me? So I'm never gonna tell anybody not to get their money. Never. But the best way to get your money as a player is to get better and win. And if you feel like that's taken away from you training and getting better, that's when it's the point you need to sit in the mirror and be like, okay, am I doing too much for the brand of such and such, whatever my name is? Like too much for the LeBron James brand, the Chris Paul brand, the Anthony Davis brand that is taken away from me as a player? Or if I'm doing just enough to where I'm maximizing my potential of money off the court while doing everything I can do on the court. So I'm never gonna tell somebody not to get that money. Like that's something I won't do because I don't know your situation. Like you might not be managing your funds right. You need this money, So it's another conversation to have. But I'm never gonna tell anybody not to get that money. So And I hate when people say that. Like basketball players need to have a life. Like you expect them to train 24/7? Like, come on, bro. It's a balance. Like,
No, but people really be thinking like that though. Like man, you ought to be in the gym. Like, bro, are you in the gym? Are you still at your office that you work at? Like, what are you talking about?
exactly,
Like,
man.
people really be thinking like that.
So yeah, that's another thing too. It's like, what do you expect them to do too? Like Perkins, come on, bro. Like, come on, Perk. You played in the NBA, bro. Like, come on, man. You played with Paul Pierce, Ray Allen, KG. They were in the gym 24/7. Ray Allen probably got the top work ethic of players that we know of. You know, not to say Truth and KG didn't, but we know Ray Allen's work. We know how hard he worked. That man was not in the gym 24/7. You weren't in the gym 24/7 as a player. So it's just kind of dumb
Period.
for people to say that, bro. Like, I have to sleep and eat at some point. I have a family to get to. Like, I have to have a life outside of this goal of basketball. Like, so I don't mind them getting this. Like within that time, you have the freedom to do whatever you want to do. You got practice, games, your training sessions. If you don't point all three of those, you eating right and all that good stuff, and you performing, by all means, get all the money you can. But it's just dumb for them to be like, well, why are you doing all this stuff? We need to be in the gym and training. I can only train so much, bro. I'm sorry.
Man.
Like, I'm a human.
And so it's funny like that we say that because I tell you this, but so last year the like because last year was COVID, so we ain't start our season till January. So when we started doing the podcast and things, this podcast right here, I telling my coaches about it, stuff, telling them what's going on. You know, they listen. And I was also like, doing some stuff with the school. Like I was doing some videography things, doing some like some editing, doing some like I was trying to learn all I could through the school and stuff. I worked in a studio, did a lot of things. So one day we have individual meetings. That's where all the coaches have an individual 15-minute time slot to meet with all the players. Like it'd be our three coaches and just you. And they ask you some questions and get your input on things and whatnot. Let you know what they want to tell you, things like that. So we had individual meetings. I could tell they was ready for this one. So they asked me all the regular questions: how you feel, how things going, how school, what's your grades like, things like that. So then after they got to all that, they started. After they ask you all the regular questions, that's when they get to what they really want to tell you. So coach like, Nelson, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I think you doing a little too much off the court thing, and you're not really putting your focus on the court as much as you should. Like, I feel like you're losing focus of why you were here in the first place. Cause like, he said, every time I see you, you walking in with some Chick-fil-A or some Einstein or something like that, because we got that on campus and we can swipe our card for it. So every time I see you walking in with food and things like that, and I'm glad you happy. I'm glad you're using your amenities and things like that. That's good. In the gym is what you used to be. You ain't in here working out and things like that like you should. Uh, and then you talk to my assistant coach, Coach Steven. He's like, you played your best basketball when you and Coach Steven were working out every day, but you kind of slacking off on that. So like, well, I just want to know, I know you're doing your podcast and you're working with the school and things like that, but I feel like you're not focused. I think we need you to be a little more focused and to what you're here for and things like that. So at first, I'm offended. I'm like, me, like, I got a life, I got school, I'm trying to learn, trying to get things, like, trying to figure things out. Because, in my mind, I'm like, this is what I want to do with my life when basketball over with. So I'm thinking, like, problem, like, this is not what I'm supposed to do. So then when I went home, I thought about it. My mind said, okay, well, I guess they feel like I'm not playing up to par. Because like you said, if they still in good shape and they still do what they're supposed to do, then there's no need. But what I wasn't realizing was I wasn't playing good enough to them. Like I wasn't playing up to what they wanted me to do, they expected from me. So that's when it became what you just said, but like about those guys, like if you ever feel like you slacking off, that's gonna be the first thing we point at. And that's what this was for them. Like Ever slack off in basketball, first thing we're gonna point to is that podcast. Or first thing we're gonna point to is the fact that he come in here eating every day. First thing we're gonna point to is the fact that he ain't in here with Coach Steve and he out there with the athletic department video and things like that. And so that's what it was. So then I had to let some things go, kind of cut some things off. Still try to do what I can when I had the time, but I had to realize like, okay, I can't do everything. I can't do everything and be everywhere at one place. I mean, at one time. So now I'm in the gym every day, I work out every day, I get my training in every day. Before practice, after practice, whatever I got to do. So then naturally my play is elevated. And so it makes time to do the podcast, but I don't go with the athletic department as much like that because I don't have time. And that's just part of it. Now, one day, hopefully I'll be a pro and basketball will be my job and I just, do my workouts and things like that. And I don't have to worry about school and class and homework and things like that. But hopefully one day, I'll be a pro and I just do basketball and then I can go do the other things that I like to do, like do this podcast or go out and learn how to get better at certain things, better at video, better at photography or better at editing, anything like that. To better enhance what I want to do in life. You know what I'm saying? So that was my take on it too. I was like, okay, I kind of understand what Perk's saying because I've been there. Like, okay, maybe they is a little stretched thin, but at the same time, it's like they ain't getting worse. They're not getting worse, or they're not, regressing. Then why are we talking about it? Like, if I was playing the way I'm playing now, and they said this to me, I might be like you, but like, man, like I gotta have a life. I wasn't. So I had to look at myself. I had to look in the mirror. I was like, okay, let's let some things go. I was like, the podcast stays, obviously.
Hey, I drove there like, hey, coach, what was this conversation at?
What's going on, man? What's going on?
Nah, man, shout out to coach, man. It's all good. I ain't got no problems.
So I was like, okay, cool. I'm shape up. So I tried to get right as a player. I was like, okay, I'm gonna be in here, put the work in. Because at the end of the day, this is still what I want to do in my life, first and foremost. This is plan A. This is plan A, B, and C. So we doing now like this. I still make time for this because I care about this. This is also something I want to do in my life. So the other things I had to just let go something at certain points. So let there be a lesson to young players out there. Never try to do too much. Know what you can handle. You can do. Know what you can do and still play your expectations are better. Like, because at the end of the day, when you're in school for basketball, or for sports, that's what you're in school for. Like, this is what pays your tuition. This is what gets you. That's what's paying for your education. So don't stretch yourself too thin. But also, vice versa, don't go to school just to play basketball.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Learn something. Yeah, go to school to learn something. Figure out what you want to do with your life. Because as I've been saying, stop playing one day. This ain't fair. Okay, how far you go pro, you go to the NBA, you go play overseas, whatever you do. One day you're not gonna be playing no more. Make sure you're not in school just to play basketball because basketball isn't fair. Find you something you could do forever or for as long as possible, and then go from there. So I like to think I found a balance now because like I said, still do this. Still been playing well. Still trying to be defensive player of the year.
Get that turn out.
Still going to be defensive player of the year. So we good. I'm satisfied right now. Let me say I'm happy but not satisfied. I don't like to say I'm satisfied. That sounds complacent. I'm happy but not satisfied.
I try to say ambitiously content. Like get to a place
ambitiously content.
Yeah, I forgot who I stole it from. Like getting to where I'm like you said, satisfied. Like I feel very blessed for where I am right now, but I'm still going for more. Like if God never did anything else for me and I capped right here, I'm thankful for where I am. Like I'm content. Like God don't have to do anything else for me. But I'm still going for more because I see bigger and better. So that's kind of what I try to say.
That's good. I like that. Ambitiously content. That's cool. I like that one. I don't know who you stole it from either, but tell them thanks.
I might trademark it, bro. So I don't know, man. But yeah, kind of going back to what you were saying, man. Like I lost what I was gonna say, but it's gonna come back in a second. Oh yeah. So players find a balance, right? And I'll speak specifically more of to like not more of the higher level, but for right now at college level, it's like you said, you come to college to play basketball. Like that's why you're here. But at the same time, you have to have priorities in order. So if you know for a fact college basketball is going to be the end of your playing career, you should start immediately planning for plan, and not plan B, but what's the next move? Because like I said before, I hate plan Bs, and that by that definition, but you should always have that next move, that next step. You feel me? So if you know college basketball is where you're going to end at, or you might not want to play, like you're tired, or you tapped out, whatever, have your next move in mind. And so with that, you have to have priorities in order. So if college basketball is going to be the end, put in enough work to where you're going to maintain and get better with that, but not to where it's going to take away from your next move. So like you doing, like for right now, if you had a conversation with coach and you put everything else to the side, you stop doing the podcast, you stop doing anything with the school, you strictly focus on basketball and schoolwork. That would not be your best, the smartest thing, because not you specifically, but just in general. Like if you know college basketball is going to be your end, why would you put everything else away completely when you know that's going to be your next move? You feel me? So
Right.
if you knew that Columbus State was going to be in, you're going to hang up the jerseys and sneakers and you're done. Okay, start planning and playing around with the videos. Start playing around with the podcast more because that's your next move. And so find that balance to where, or priorities to where you know what your next move is and how to prioritize it. So if you just want to go to school and strictly play basketball and you figure out your next move is going to be outside of basketball, cool. Plan for that and make that your next move. If you know you have an opportunity to go to the next level of basketball, plan for that, but still have a back, not a backup plan, but have something else to fall back on. To have something else to be layered with. And so going back to the business of basketball, maximize everything you can at this level that you're at now. Get all the money you can, get all the education you can, get all the networks you can. They're going to play out so much more down the line. But make sure you're handling business too. Like you should never have anything taken away from the main priority. So basketball should be number one. Like I understand if you want other things to get to and go through, but it should not take away from basketball unless you're not going to do basketball anymore. So if you like, coach, I ain't trying to do basketball no more. I want to go strictly more into the media side. Okay, cool. We'll take that scholarship back and we'll see you around campus. Like, it's really that simple. Like for real, I hate to do that, but like that's your priorities. Okay, these are my priorities. I have to get another player in here who has basketball as number one. And that kind of reminds me of Mo Bamba. He with the Magic now, I believe. He came from Texas, University of Texas. And I remember during the draft process, they had an issue with him being so smart because they're like, we're not sure he's going to be fully focused on the game because he's so smart. And I was just like,
You don't want smart players?
you want to have an idiot on your team? Like that's just I didn't
If anything,
understand. Like
if you a college coach, probably want him to be smart because that might entice him to be like, I'm gonna do 4 years to get my degree instead of being like, okay, well, you're gonna leave in 1 year. Like, what? That makes no sense.
that it
Like
was dumb,
idiots,
bro.
like a dumb person would be like, oh, I'm just here to play basketball. Now you probably gotta watch him on athletic, not as an academic probation and jump. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? He might not pass the 9 hours he needs.
Yeah.
But you got somebody that's smart, he might mess around and be like, I want my degree before I leave. Like, you know what I'm saying? I just think that's crazy, but
Yeah.
whatever, I guess.
I don't remember if I was going into Texas or that I was leaving Texas going to the draft process. But I remember that came up and I was just like, that don't make sense. Like, and I remember he came out and spoke against it. He was like, they had an issue with me being so smart and having my hand in different things to where they feel like it was gonna take away from the game. But if I'm performing, like I said before, if I'm performing well and I'm very educated, that should be a bonus for me, not a hindrance. You feel me? So I think, and now I think LeBron has broken that gate or broken that wall down to where you almost look bad if you don't have more things going on. Because LeBron had his hands in so much, but it's at a manageable place now because now he has a point where he has employees and the managers and stuff where he can delegate things to other people. And so I think you should be well versed as a player. Like I said before, I hate playing Bs and that specific definition of that. But you should be layered and have more things to you. So like if you're only basketball 24/7, I have an issue with that because you're doing way too much for that. You should have more things that you like to do besides basketball. So um, I just feel like that was dumb for them to be like, Mo Bamba, you're doing too much. You're too smart to be doing this. Like, that's what? Like, that was just dumb. That's maybe I didn't get the full story. Maybe it's something I'm missing. Because from what I hear from that, that sounds you sound like an idiot by saying you're too smart to be doing this. Like, that's just I don't get that. Mm.
But they want you, especially like that's that business motive. Like we was talking about at the top of the show. Like he's in a business prospect.
Mm.
They don't want him involved in nothing else. Like, you go do your commercials and go make you some money. That's cool. But we don't want you out here like not training and working out. Out here on some kind of like exploration. You in the museum or you out here in the library, like you in the jail. And so they're not looking at it from as him as a person. He's not a person to the people at the top of those organizations. He's a business prospect. And whatever business prospect we put our time and effort into, they want you to make that same return. So we being athletes, they want you to put that time and effort into being the best athlete possible, make their team as good as possible, and make them more money in turn. So that's all that's about. Like they're not even thinking about him as a person at that point. It's like, oh, he too smart. I'm kind of concerned. Like, is he really gonna be focused? Them saying is he gonna be focused is them it's just them hiding the fact that we're afraid that he not gonna pan out because he's gonna be worried about other things. Like, bro, like you said, like I gotta have a life. Like that should not be a hindrance. Like if anything, if I'm ever not focused, come tell me that. Don't be in the public like, oh man, like I don't know about Mo because Mo too smart. Like that's when you sound dumb. Like if anything, they should have came to him and just be like, hey, Mo, we know you how much you care about this, whatever his interest may be. We know how much you care about this, or we know you have a passion for this. But all we ask is that you stay focused and you stay in the gym and you put this first. That's all we ask. And like whatever, we ain't trying to take your life from you, but we just ask that you still put the time and the work in. And I'm still here, like he don't seem like no bad guy. I'm sure he'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna put the work in, like whatever. Like you ain't have to say that. But instead, they just looking at him like he's not even a person. Like, oh, I don't know about Mo. Mo think he a scientist. Mo think he a doggone. He belong in the laboratory or something. Oh, bro, let that man live.
And part of me understand it because, like, from our perspective, I see it as a business investment. That's the business of the game. You feel me? Like, you get to a place where it's like, if I'm putting millions of dollars into, don't think about it like this. I'm putting millions of dollars into a specific thing or a specific resource. Now, my mind says, hey, I'm investing money into you. I'm expecting to have a certain return, right? Take away the fact that he's a player. Take it away, we're talking about basketball. If you put $1 into this thing should come back with $2, right? So that's the way their brain is working. So I can understand if it was a character issue, if it was a something outside of that. Like, I'm not sitting here saying he's too smart. I understand saying his focus might not be all the way there. But like you said, I'll come to them with that conversation. Be like, yo, we understand that you're interested in these other things, but I want to make sure that the main thing is the main thing. Is basketball number one for you? Okay, cool. Now, my business investment, I feel more reassured with that. So now I understand where they're coming from, but saying he's too smart, it's just like you look dumb at that point. You feel me? But on the other end of it, from a player's perspective, they have to handle business too. They have to see it from a business perspective to where it's like Carmelo a couple years ago. I'm looking at it to where I can make the most amount of money too. I'm signing the contract. I'm looking at the best place that makes me the most money too. And I'm able to capitalize on all the money I can get as long as it doesn't jeopardize my career. Because I'm not going to make a whole bunch of money and try to play in what's a bad one? The Timberwolves. No, they're getting better. What's a bad team?
The Raptors.
I like Fred VanVleet. I like him, but
the Pacers.
Dang, I can't name a bad
The
team.
Rockets.
Rockets getting better though, man. I see potential.
No, they're not, Brian.
Bro.
They're not
no, they
better.
have the good pieces, bro. They have good. Kevin Porter Jr., man.
Porter Jr. is averaging 13 points, man.
It's his, he's young.
And the Rockets are
They have
bad.
okay, but they getting good. All I'm saying is they have good pieces. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying they're gonna be playoff bound in the next 2 years. I'm saying they have good pieces to think about. They have a good trajectory. But anyway, I'm
Okay.
not gonna sit here and say I'm gonna play for the Rockets. I'm making a lot of money with them. That's not the best thing for you to do. But from a business end, I want to win and I want to make money. So when you find that perfect balance to where I'm making money and I'm winning, because like I said before, winning brings you more money, then what more can you ask for? You feel me? So I just feel like the business side of it, from like I said, from every angle is different, and your perspective on it depends on the title that you have and where you're coming from with it.
Yeah, you make a good point. That's all. Yeah, I like that because I just find it crazy. Like somebody that they've been playing this long, like to this point to be a pro, getting questioned because he's smart. They questioning his dedication because he's smart. But like, oh, what do I know? I don't know.
I mean, like I said before, part of me understands it because it's like you've seen where people get too caught up in the life of an NBA player. They're a pro now, so they're making like you can see a lot of people where they make the money and they cap out. Like I'm not working as hard anymore to get to that next level, because for them that's success. That's where they reached. Like they worked so hard for these 20, 21, 22, 24 years to get this amount of money to make sure mom and them straight. You feel me? Like that's what I really wanted. I'm not trying to come out here and make the Michael Jordan money and the Shaquille O'Neal money, Magic Johnson money. It's not my goal. I want to get enough to where I can go back home and support my folks. And so that's for them, their business motive. And they don't want to get that player to where their business motive is to make money and dip. Now I'm gonna give you the money, but make sure you still put in the work too, because my goal is to win a championship. If that's not your goal, then we can't see eye to eye right here. You feel me? So that's
Right.
where the business it comes to where it's work both hand in hand to where my position, my perspective as the owner, GM, and coach is say, hey, I'm investing money into you to make sure you're taking care of business so we can win this ring. Your end of it say, hey, I'm investing my time, sweat, blood, tears to get my money and also to make sure we win this ring. You feel me? So, like I said, the angles is what really matters. But I can understand what they're saying. How it comes off is very bad. Like Nelson, you too smart. I don't know if I want to pick you on my team. Like you might start dabbling into this and dabbling into that, and it's just like I don't know. Like what? No, what? I can understand.
Hey, any team willing to say that to me, probably not the place for me, no way.
Yeah.
That's a little too smart to be here. He won't be involved in all these other things. I don't know. We want him on our team. Okay, that's fine. Save me the trouble.
Yep.
Before I go here and start playing and then try to do something other than basketball, and y'all get to talking about, oh, here he go, thinking he a scientist, thinking he a doggone podcaster.
I found with a basketball in his hands. What he doing this time? Like, come on, bro. Like, that's stupid.
Man. My coach, my coach here, Coach Boy, last year, he loved to say, his thing for me would be, they're going Nelson thinking he Kevin Hart again. And he used to say like, well, boy, Nelson, if I can just get you to focus, because he used to swear up and down. I used to just be like joking, like all the time. Like I could be on the sideline, somebody could say something funny, I laugh. They're going Nelson thinking he Kevin Hart again. I'm like, no, I ain't even say that. But that was him because like he know I'm a funny person. I'm always joking and stuff like that. So even if I ain't the one joking, that was his thing. They're gonna Nelson thinking he Kevin Hart. So like if he was out here talking about they're gonna Nelson thinking he Shaquille O'Neal trying to get on a podcast, trying to be on NBA TNT, something like that. You know what I'm saying? I would probably have a problem with that. but well, I'm good, man. That's about all I had on it. Is there anything else you want to throw in there?
That's it, man. That was a really good conversation that people need to hear, because I think we touched on all levels, and no matter what level you're at or you want to get to, you can take a little something away from it and, enjoy the conversation that we had. But I'm good.
I'm good, man. Well, I hope y'all enjoy. We just want to, share a little game, a little insight on our thoughts and views on the business of basketball and politics of basketball that comes with it. So I hope y'all enjoy. I hope y'all learned something, got something out of it. Make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe on all platforms, wherever you are listening. Make sure you follow my guy Brian at BeBall Jones. That's BeBall Jones on all social medias. And follow me on Twitter at NellyH34 and Nelson Haskins on Facebook. We appreciate y'all. That does it for another episode. Please, y'all check us out next week. And if you haven't, go back and listen to some old episodes. Go check out what we did before. If you like this one, you'll love the last one and the one before that and the one before that. So thank y'all again, and we out.